How did he discredit himself if he's presenting the evidence in Donald Trump's own voice, admitting that he knows he's breaking the law while he's doing it? That's like me running up in a store, gun that, like, yo, give me everything, pulling my mask off, smiling at the camera while I'm doing it, and saying, "Yeah, I'm going to commit this armed robbery."
This is for educational and entertainment purposes only.
Hello, and welcome to the Think Tank, where we use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, just to picture common sense to draw unbiased logical conclusions. Today, we're here to talk about Jack Smith, who investigated Donald Trump in two major cases. And we're going to give you an unbiased opinion of what's going on. Now, all media outlets have bias. This is something that everybody in media knows. The way we're able to give you an unbiased opinion is because I'm going to give you the support for Jack Smith from the side of the country that's against Donald Trump and the illegal attacks that he's doing. And my partner, whom I'm about to introduce you in a moment, is going to give you the MAGA America First take on it. You're going to be able to take all this information and draw your own conclusion, and you're going to be able to get it from one place where you don't have to try and sift through everything and figure it out for yourself and all that. You get to hear the best arguments that could possibly be made from both sides, which is how a think tank works. If that's the kind of content you like to consume, if you want to be in the know and understand what both sides are thinking so that you can draw your own conclusions, subscribe here, like the channel, comment. We'll get back to you. With no further ado, I'm going to introduce the MAGA America First side of this think tank, the Honorable Dion Powell.
Dion? Hey, happy Reverend Dr. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Day weekend, and keyword Reverend for the conservative right side of the whole civil rights movement. I'm District Leader Dion Powell of the Bronx County Conservative Party. I'm a political strategist, community organizer, and overall good guy. So great to be here, everybody.
All right, Dion, let me ask you a question.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, so let's get it. So who's Jack Smith, and why is it important that he's testifying publicly versus his closed door testimony to Congress that was leaked, or that was released, rather?
Former Special Counsel Jack Smith to testify publicly about Trump critically proud. All right. This is who Smith is. Smith was appointed by then Attorney General Merrick Garland in 2022 to preside over a criminal investigation into Trump, will testify before the House Judiciary Committee. Now, if you go back up to the first paragraph, he publicly testified about his criminal probes into President Trump week after he told lawmakers in a closed-door session that he had proof, beyond a shadow of reasonable doubt, that President Trump conspired to overturn the 2020 election. All right, let's see. Jack has been clear for months he's ready and willing to answer questions at public hearing about his investigation of President Trump, Trump's alleged unlawful efforts to overturn the 2020 election, and his mishandling of classified documents, as you guys may or may not recall. So there you have it, Leo. It's time for Jack to actually give us the reasoning logic behind this whole investigation that he did. Raunchamania.
I do believe that he's given plenty of explanation. As a matter of fact, some of the explanations I see you shaking your head, so let me lead with, when he wanted to testify publicly, Republicans blocked him. Hey everybody, this is your boy Leo. You know me, I've been doing commercials for 15 years, television commercials, radio ads, billboards. Now, I'm trying to step it into the big leagues. I want to be an independent filmmaker. I've got the degrees, I've got the experience, and I need your help to make my first independent film, Garrote. So Garrote is Boys in the Hood meets Clue. So these dudes from Brooklyn is trying to buy their drugs to supply the hood. So they go to the mafia stronghold and they purchase their drugs, but one of them turns up dead. And now there's a race to find out who did it. The Godfather's going to send in his hit squad, Squadra Assassina, to take them out. They don't figure out who did it because somebody died on his turf and he's not happy and he can't have stuff like that happening in his business. So please, if you want to show support, my Kickstarter campaign is down in the description box. So obviously he has some information that they don't want out there. He continued to push, said, let me testify publicly. We want you to know what's happening. And then now we know that with some of the things that have come out, there's literal recordings of Donald J. Trump admitting he was once again, committing felonies. He's Donald J. Trump. That's what you should expect.
Oh, God.
Listen, he's on tape saying things like, give her the bribe money and do it out of this account. Not exactly, but all intents and purposes. Yo, he's on tape. My dude's on tape. Like, yo, if I was still president, I could declassify this. But I can't declassify it now because I'm no longer president. Isn't that silly? Take a look. Like, yo, you're showing classified, you're stating you know that you're not supposed to be showing these papers because they're classified, war plans and so on and so forth. And then showing them as you're saying you're not supposed to be showing them. So now you've shown classified documents. You've lied in testimony. These are crimes. It's kind of like Signalgate on steroids. My question to you, Dion, how do you feel as a MAGA America First civilian of the United States, supporter of Donald J. Trump, about the fact that while Donald J. Trump was showing classified materials to people that did not have clearance for said materials, while saying, I cannot declassify this, showing and handing these papers to uncleared people, while showing the papers, he is literally saying, if I was president, I could declassify this. But since I'm not president anymore, I can't declassify it. Which means not only was he breaking the law showing these war plans, which were classified, as he's saying it proves, he went and lied under testimony about showing it. He can't claim immunity. This is what Jack Smith was presenting while he was running for office, that Donald Trump lied and claimed was a hoax. The tapes are Donald Trump himself, which have been authenticated and are not AI, saying that he knew that he was presently and cognitively aware at the moment, showing classified files of war plans to unclassified people. That I just want to be clear that this is what he admitted to. What do you think about the fact that he was showing these unclassified materials while admitting he knew what he was doing was illegal and then lying under testimony about it?
I think that as a first-term president, he made a lot of rookie mistakes based on people that are around him that didn't have his best interest. And number two, more interesting enough, people who had experience in politics over 40 years, Joe Biden made the similar mistakes when he was vice president. So I don't know how we're going to handle that. But Jack Smith, certainly, if you look at the timeline, certainly tried to rush this information during 2024 to try to put this man in jail as he's running for re-election. So that there in and of itself was election interference. And if you notice, when Trump, as soon as he won re-election, those charges were dismissed.
So he did not try to charge a sitting president. I think that was a wise move. However,
Politically motivated, Leo, just say it.
to try to bring charges for someone that committed a crime on tape, like you recorded yourself, or you was being recorded saying you knew the files weren't classified or the files were classified as you showed them. There's literally No defense. This is not a hoax. This is your authenticated voice saying, I know I'm breaking the law. As you're breaking the law, you're literally telling the people that are listening, I'm breaking the law as you do it. How do you claim this is a witch hunt when you're literally admitting you're committing a felony while committing the felony? What? How do you defend that? Oh, because they tried to rush it. Yes, they tried to rush it. They tried to stop someone who's revealing classified war plans to just anybody he feels like he can reveal them to from getting back in the seat of power where he can do the same thing and cause American lives. I applaud Jack Smith. He was trying to save American lives, soldiers, people that put their necks on the front line. Trump got back in regardless of the fact that he was willing to just release classified. He was able to get back in regardless of the fact that he was able to release classified material to personnel that did not have the classification, or the people that did not have the classification to see these war plans, and the eventual inevitability of this release was Signalgate. Because that's where it came from. It was Signalgate. Well, it was the preemptive motions toward what eventually became Signalgate. You have the floor.
Thank you. And boy, is it cold on this floor, and where I'm from in New York with this nor'easter. So now if I could provide some other information, my friend.
Okay, go.
All right. This is Wikipedia, however you feel about it. Smith Special Counsel investigation started November 18th, 2022. Why is that date important, family? Because when you also look into when did Donald Trump announce his reelection bid? November 15th. So we on the right believe that as soon as Donald Trump made noise in early November, he was running for re-election, the people like Jack Smith immediately said, hey, we got to find a way to make sure this guy, number one, doesn't win by these little proceedings, lawfare. And number two, most importantly, we need to throw him in jail as fast as humanly possible. Now, remember those dates, Leo? Let's ask, what year did Fannie Willis bring charges against Uncle Trump? Wow, August 2023. That's strange. All this stuff should have happened the first 2 years when Biden. Oh, let's see, Alvin Bragg. He's from New York like you and I, Leo, right? Now, he bought it in 2026. That's fair.
Wait.
Up. Okay. All right.
No, that was wild. That was before Trump, or Trump's first term.
Let's see.
Beginning of Trump's first term.
Let's see.
Let's go. Wasn't an election interference there, was it?
Let's ask Wiki. What's Wiki? Oh, it says 2023. Okay, let's see. Alvin Bragg.
That's not when he brought the case. That was the case still going. He couldn't have possibly brought it in 2026 because there wasn't enough time this year for him to have brought it.
Let's actually get started to bring charges. Oh, spring of 2023.
Read the whole thing.
Alvin Bragg is the elected Manhattan DA who led the office that investigated and brought a 34-count indictment against...
Stop. Read the whole thing.
What whole thing?
Of falsifying New York business records in connection with payments tied to the 2016 campaign. His office presented those allegations to a grand jury and announced the charges. Okay.
On spring 2023. This is the reason why, family, people on the right believe that it's lawfare, because as soon as Donald Trump announced early November 2022, these people all conspired with Joe Biden's blessing to come after this man. And that's what I'm going to present to you as the facts, family. you let it marinate and make sure you put those comments to inform us if we're right or wrong with this kind of situation.
That is damning evidence you've just presented.
Well, goddamn.
And it's information I wasn't aware of.
Well, there you go.
But it doesn't change the fact that the truth of the matter is they brought charges to try and stop him from being able to do the very thing that he got in office and did. Put American lives, put American soldiers in danger. Like, yo, so if I'm in the military...
That doesn't matter, Leo.
It doesn't matter. Signalgate mattered. The fact that he presents...
You just proved my point. They tried to stop this man from getting reelected with this.
They tried to stop this man from costing American lives. They tried to stop this man from costing American lives. Let's look at the evidence, right? They looked and said, nah, we got to stop him from getting back in office is what you're saying. I'm saying we got to stop him from putting American lives in danger by releasing information to people that can hurt America and American lives because he's using his office. He used the office to grift, to just do things that hurt America. And he got back into office and did exactly that, if not far, 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 far worse. Signalgate was just the tip of the iceberg, but tip of the iceberg that was the preemption to Signalgate. He literally was showing war plans that were classified to unclassified individuals, and it didn't get prosecuted. The next thing you know is Signalgate. And in case you don't know what Signalgate is, it's when his lead person for the Department of Defense was just putting war plans on an app rather than classified channels the way it's supposed to be done, the way there's a reason for it, because a leak of classified files that have war plans in it can cost American lives, troops, and military weapons and equipment and so forth. There's a classified channel for a reason, because this way it stays classified. But they put it in Signal and even invited media. And I'm not talking about independent media. I'm talking about invited mainstream media to listen into the war plans. This, I believe, is what they were trying to prevent. Now, you might call it incompetency. I personally think
lawfare. It was that's what we call it. I just call it lawfare.
I say
lawfare.
I'm talking about Signalgate. I'm talking about releasing war plans to the media, inviting the media into the room and then giving the war plans. Like, on an open channel, anybody can hack, like Signal, an app. Oh, it's classified as Signal. What the? This is our incompetent. Either they were incompetent or it was done on purpose. There's no middle ground. Can we agree on that?
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. Transitioning from one situation to another situation. Okay.
Well, no, this is what was this is what Jack Smith was attempting to stop from happening. The very fact that Trump was showing classified war plans to unclassified individuals and they wanted to prosecute him was so that when he attempted to run for office again, if he would not become successful, and said war plans now became leaked to the general public and anybody can grab it. And the example of what they were trying to prevent happened mere months into Trump's administration, where our peacetime Nobel aspiring president leaked his war plans to attack a sovereign nation to the media by having them in a group chat on an unclassified app named Signal. He just was like, let's talk, let's his Secretary of Defense, Hegseth, let's just talk about everything we're going to do, when we're striking, how we're striking, whatever. Let's discuss our war plans, like the president was accused of doing before he got into office, the hoax Let's do the same thing here, except for doing it on a more massive scale. Instead of introducing it to some personal friends of Trump while admitting that he knows they're classified, let's invite the media in. It was a continuation of what Jack Smith said happened and has now been proven. Donald Trump is either compromised and purposely doing this or completely incompetent and inept for the office because war plans endangering American lives and troops are being released where they can be used against America and our military. So, thank you, Jack Smith, for trying to prevent the loss of American lives and American soldier lives. In my humble opinion. That's it. Thoughts?
Well, I just like to say you proved my point of lawfare and how their reasoning to actually bring these legal cases after President Trump announced his reelection bid was to prevent things like this from happening. It had nothing to do about breaking the law or justice. And that's our point. That's why it was lawfare and a political tool to interfere with an re-election bid of a former president of the United States. And that is wrong. That's it. But it didn't work. So as soon as he got reelected, all those charges fell by the wayside. It looks like long term, we were right. It wasn't about
No, it looks like nobody wanted to charge a sitting president, and it looks like he was guilty of all the things he was being charged for. And if he was actually guilty, whether your defense of him is, oh well, he made to be president even though he was breaking laws. So in other words, here's the truth of the matter. Here's the breakdown. He's a 34 felon president.
Now here's you can say that. So now
and on top of being a 34 felon president, there are many more felonies he committed that just didn't get prosecuted. And the evidence is out for the public to see. So Jack Smith is now going to testify publicly. So this is the stuff that was released. Now we're about to hear more. We're just hearing all of the felons that this man committed. And you're like, so what? Because they was trying to stop him. They're not trying to stop him now. They're just releasing the evidence. So you can't say this is interference in the election. They're just releasing the evidence. This is Jack Smith protecting himself because he did not go after Donald Trump. He was appointed to prosecute Donald Trump by merit. He did not make this case up and decide to go after him. He was just doing the job he was hired for and appointed to. So Jack Smith was just going after him to try. Jack Smith didn't appoint himself. This is you, MAGA, going after Jack Smith in order to make him a scapegoat so that Donald Trump can get away with all the other felonies that he obviously committed by his own words in admittance on top of the 34 counts that he already received from an objective standpoint.
Well, I gave you some information of what I feel about Jack Smith and his ilk, and can't wait to hear what he has to say. But in my opinion, this is more personal than factual, so that I feel as though he's already discredited himself and will go down as history as such on the right, as long as we got people like Linda McMahon in charge of the Department of Education.
How did he discredit himself if he's presenting the evidence in Donald Trump's own voice admitting that he knows he's breaking the law while he's doing it? That's like me running up in a store, gun that, like, yo, give me everything, pulling my mask off, smiling at the camera while I'm doing it and saying, yeah, I'm going to commit this armed robbery. And you're like, oh, well, they're just bringing it up to him now because he's trying to start a business. Like, he kind of like admitted and smiled for the camera. He admitted what he was doing. And you're like, well, it's just a felony. But I guess with Donald Trump, just a felony doesn't mean much, right?
Well, Again, this is more feelings over facts. The
Now, let me
fact
ask about these feelings. Whose
remains.
feelings? Jack Smith didn't vindictively go after Donald Trump. He was
I just
appointed.
proved to you that he did. Look at the timeline. And you just
No, you
outlined the
didn't. You
fact
proved exactly
yourself
the opposite.
to prevent Pete Hegg said situations from happening if Donald Trump were reelected. You proved my point very well.
No, he did not. He did not vindictively do anything. He didn't make any choices. He was selected. He was appointed. Someone put him there. He didn't do anything,
Merrick Garland.
but I'm sorry.
Merrick Garland. That's what the article said. So Merrick Garland and him and the administration.
Whoa. So hold on, wait. I got a question. So if I got somebody that works for me, and I'm like, I need you to go out and paint the sidewalk. Make it yellow. Put a yellow line there so people don't park in my parking spot. Whatever. Are you going to tell me that my employee is the one that planned this? Because I'm the one who gave the order. So how is my employee responsible for planning it? Because that's what you're doing. He was appointed. He did not make a decision. He was given a job and executed his job very well, apparently.
Very horrible, apparently, because Donald Trump won re-election. It's not in jail, so very horribly.
Well, if they had rushed it like you said,
it didn't work.
if they had rushed it like you said, then he would have been prosecuted before he got into office. He wasn't prosecuted before he got in office, so obviously it wasn't rushed.
Why did he rush it? Why did he rush it? Because they were trying to prevent him from being reelected. Otherwise,
if they rushed it, then why wasn't he? If they rushed it, then why wasn't he prosecuted?
Huh?
If they
rushed
actually rushed it,
why wasn't Trump prosecuted if he rushed it?
That's the question.
Well, again, he got sloppy, he rushed it, and that's why he didn't get prosecuted. Understand? Makes sense. His whole case fell apart and he kept rushing it. He didn't follow proper.
His case didn't fall apart. We have the evidence. They could have prosecuted him.
But guess what? The charges.
I do believe, if I remember correctly, that they did not. They did withdraw it, and they said they weren't going to do it because the
charges were dropped. Let's see. Some felony charges against Donald Trump were dropped in federal courts after his 2024 election victory, but state-level prosecutions and at least one conviction has had different trajectories. Special Counsel Jack Smith himself moved to dismiss the federal election interference and classified document prosecution in November 2024, and courts approved his dismissals. Well, there you have it. Jack Smith was at least smart enough to say, hey, we can't go any further. So he's the one that fell.
Why did he do that is the question. Okay, let's take a look at why. Jack Smith's federal case against Donald Trump were dismissed because Smith, as a Department of Justice Department employee, was bound by a longstanding Department of Justice, DOJ, policy prohibiting the prosecution of a sitting president. So the reason that it was dismissed was because he was bound by a long-standing Department of Justice policy prohibiting the prosecution of a sitting president.
Oh, God.
So he didn't dismiss it because Trump was innocent. He dismissed it because Trump became president, and that is just how things are done in this country.
He didn't have to dismiss it, Leo. That was a choice. He could have just kept letting it play out and let the judiciary do what it had to do.
And been embarrassed. And the country would have been embarrassed once we had a president sitting in jail. Or we would have went through all of this and he would have gotten
going to jail. He's not. Even when he finishes his term, he's not. When everybody listens to the sound of District Leader Dion Powell's voice, the Boston Conservative Party, get it out your mind. He is not going to jail. He
won't live that long. He's sick.
He's not going to jail.
Right. He's going to die before he gets out of office. We'll talk about that on another episode. We'll talk about that on another episode.
Well, family, we are the media, and now so are you. So make sure you put those comments in there, like I said earlier, and share this content to your network and add on your own thoughts. So hopefully the public at large will pay attention to the algorithm as we try to promote this ethnic and community media.
This is Leon Dion signing out.